Greetings, my lovely little chipolates. Today I'm going over a weird build. This is my shield support utilizing the Foundry Bulwark, and this build is weird, but I think it's also quite unique. It works very well on heroic. I have used it on legendaries as well. It's not the most damaging shield build, it's not the most tanky shield build, but what it does is offer a lot of utility to your team as well as survivability, simply because of the skill setup we have. The main trick with this is trying to get decent headshots with a pistol, stacking up a lot of damage using the Liberty and then popping off a headshot at max stacks, as that is going to be our main way in which we survive, because otherwise the shield, although it is tanky, it's not quite as tanky as some of the Technician, Artificer, Hive shield builds out there, and it's just more of a sustain capability just to help your team stay alive. You might notice that my team, my wife and a good friend Demon, are able to maintain a pretty decent amount of overshield, and if they do happen to have their shield completely depleted, they do get a hefty chunk of overshield to help them out and survive. This is all about team play, so in a solo capability, yeah, probably not so much. Now, this shield does have a few drawbacks. For a starter, I'm using the flamethrower specialization simply because I don't really have good shield mods, and that actually gives me some pretty decent shield mods, so you can mix it up however you want. As a basis for my shield build, as you see, I'm using the flamethrower specialization. I've got a pretty decent P416 roll as well as an LMG, although I don't really use these. I'm mainly all about that exotic pistol, Liberty. 4-piece bulwark, mask, gloves, knees and holster. I'm using the tardigrade exotic chest and a semi-decent Gila-Guard backpack. Now, I've played this with a lot of teams, with randoms, people going into legendaries as well, and they've absolutely loved me using this because of the weird and wacky ways in which I use it, such as using the Seeker cluster mines. These aren't really there to do damage because it's not a skill build, it's there to highlight enemies as well as push them out of cover. Being this shield build, I generally either take a lot of aggro or things tend to run away from me and hide, and if they're not running towards my allies, they tend to running away from the battlefield completely, and this becomes very annoying. Seeker mines help prevent this just by keeping things moving around in almost like a nice sort of fluid circle. They start on one side, they move around to me, I take a lot of aggro, help buff the team by giving them overshields and survivability, as well as just taking the aggro away from them. They move back round after taking a decent amount of damage for my teammates to take in the final kill. At the moment, my wife here is using a skill build and she's picking off everything pretty much surrounding me, so it does require a bit of communication. And my friend Demon is using a negotiator LMG setup, trying to pick off and group up weaker ones using the negotiator debuff. It does work quite well, but as I said, it does kind of require some communication, especially if you as the shield are about to go down, because of where you are essentially the team's health bar. Now, overall, it does work quite well, but I'm just going to go into some of the setups of what I'm using. I am using the bulwark, as I said, and the main reason I'm using the flamethrower is because of the mod slots it has available. If you're not really wanting to do that, this does still work with Technician as well as Artificer Hive, but I don't know, it's just I quite like using the flamethrower because I don't really have a build that uses the flamethrower at the moment. I've got a decent chunk of health on the shield as well. Anyway, my P416, it's not the greatest roll, but it is still a pretty damn good roll, and utilising Optimist helps me out with damage, and Sleep Near as well for the fire rate does also help me out, simply because of the buff. The pistol is the main trick here because of its talent. Liberty or Death. Every shot grants 2% weapon damage. It stacks up to 30 times. Headshots consume all the stacks and repair your shield for 3% per stack. That is potentially 90% shield health returned to you just by getting a headshot. So if you can get headshots, it's a very good way to sustain yourself. Foundry Bulwark set, as you can see, using 4-piece. I've basically just gone for armor and tried to put a little bit of crit chance in there where I can, just to bolster my damage where I can, because it's just a pistol. I don't really have anything amplifying my damage, so although they do pretty decent damage, it's still quite slow and you reload a lot, and some people don't really like the reloading a lot, but this is my personal take on it anyway. So I've got some crit chance going on, and that is pretty much throughout on all of my sets, which is handy. And the main reason on which I'm able to provide overshield is simply because of the talents I have. Now, tardigrade here is pretty damn unique, and this is where it's almost like having a second lifeline comes in. When myself or allies have their shield depleted, they gain 80% of my armor as a overlay for them for 10 seconds, and I've got 1.9 million armor, so that pretty much tops out most people's armor capability. And then on my backpack I have Protector, so whenever my shield is damaged, my allies gain 15% of my shield for 3 seconds. I keep saying shield, armor, of my armor for 3 seconds, and the cooldown is 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds they're gaining 15% over armor of my armor value, and it really does help out the team. So if you're looking for a team play and a bit of a team tank, maybe give this a go. But as I said though, it's not the tankiest shield build, it's just not the most damaging shield build. It's a very co-op intensive shield build that does work in helping keep your loved ones and fellow agents alive. Anyway, in the meantime, have fun, good luck, and don't die. It's bad for the health.